Excited to be here. Looking forward to sharing. Before I do, though, my DMs have been blowing up about my beard care routine. So, no, they're not, but I'm doing the best I can. So if anyone can refrain, I'm doing the best I can on my beard. Doing the best I got. Don't kick a man when he's down. I can't grow a beard like my friend here. So every morning when I go for a run, I wake up and I drink in excess. And also, I'm not asking for your opinion either. I just want to let you know what I do. So I wake up and I drink in excess, and then I brush my teeth, and then I go on a run. And when I'm running, I got the best talk ideas ever. It's the best talk I've ever given every day. And then I read my notes, and they're totally incoherent. I have no idea what they said. So I'm going to do my best, but we love Amway. I love selling Amway products. I love being in Amway. And I'm going to be talking about stuff today that doesn't really pertain to that element. And I'm going to be sharing my personal views of why, when I came to a meeting like this, and when I saw this opportunity, why Cal and I wanted to make this our vocation, why we wanted to plant our flag here. And it was the people, and it was their aspirational views, it was their embodiment of certain values for me that resonated with me. So I'm going to share what I saw, and we're going to be talking about Camelot. Who knows the stories, at least generally, of King Arthur, the Round Table, the Knights? Raise your hand if you know those stories. Okay, that's what I kind of suspected. Raise your hand if you have no idea. That's what I suspected. People don't really read a lot of literature anymore. So who knows Game of Thrones? Okay, I thought that would be better. So this is kind of like Game of Thrones, but it's a lot more honorable, but similar, like dragons and things and magicians, similar idea. But I'll give you a little bit of a background since 90% of the audience never heard of King Arthur. So King Arthur was a pseudo-historical figure that was written about in the 1500s, and they had these stories, these epic stories of the Knights of the Round Table, and these men and women of valor and honor that made personal sacrifice, and they protected a place in a realm called Camelot. And there was a lot of symbolic references to different themes, I think, that really resonated with me when I got in this business, and I saw people like Vinny and Dana and all the leadership, all of the emeralds and above and the diamonds and the people that had built significant businesses that, of course, are statistically unlikely. Very few people do. But that's, for me, why it made it so special. Because if 0.01% of people, or whatever the statistic is, can accomplish something like that, I just admired the work ethic, the commitment, the resolve, in spite of odds that are so daunting, to go out and to continue to have the faith to say, maybe one day I can be there. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that I love about this business, our team and the Amway business, and talk about why we're here and why we love to be here with you all and why we love to be a part of this organization. So in this story, I'm going to talk about three main elements and their representative symbolic references. So first, for those of you who know, there's a sword that King Arthur, depending on the story, he pulls from a stone called Excalibur. So the first point here, when King Arthur removes this sword from the stone, what did that symbolize? It symbolized both the power of leadership and the responsibility that comes with it. The responsibility when you have power and leadership to take care of those who you are leading, to do what's best for your family and for your, in this case, country in the story, the country of Camelot, to do what was best for the greater good, not just the selfish ambitions of one. Very often, I know in my life, and maybe you, but I find that culturally in society, in my opinion and in my experience, can often accidentally affirm a result rather than the way to get there. They say that the ends justify the means, which I believe is as wrong as anything can be. I believe that the means in which you get somewhere are the end. I'm not concerned with where you go as much as the honor and the right way of getting there. And very often in life, cutting corners doesn't matter. It's not really seen. I'm sure none of you have ever cheated on a test. I'm sure none of you guys have ever looked left or right, or maybe not honorably done 100% of the thing you said you're going to do. But what that sword represented for King Arthur in this story that I saw embodied in the friendships and the people like Warren and Vanessa and Mike and Dana and Dan and Brenda and all the people, Luis and Jackie in the back, it was that they did not cut corners, because the worst person to lie to is yourself. That with great power comes great responsibility. That to use your power to think that leadership is for perks and parking spaces is the most wrong version. It's not for fame. It's for servitude. It's for making a difference. It's for doing things that matter. I got a chance to meet at the Monaco board plan. I don't know where they are in the Papalardo team. Man, they're not cutting corners. They talked to me about listening to my talk on the app Thursday night before the conference, taking notes in their hotel room. That's what it looks like, to be willing to do what it takes to not cut corners when no one sees it and no one's clapping and no one knows. Because whatever happens in private eventually is on the public stage, from what I've seen in my personal experience. Number 2, code of chivalry. They had an honorable code. These knights of the round table sat at a round table that symbolized equal representation, where everyone was unified around a common goal, a common great purpose, where no man or woman was better than any other. And they had this code of chivalry which had some values that I saw many people in the room live by, that absolutely made me want to be around people like that. I did not grow up around people with a code of chivalry. I saw lots of perverted backwards ones, the code of thieves, and the code of self-interest, and the code of whatever feels good, but not a code of chivalry. And I saw and met men and women that stood by something, not perfectly. Because when I was young and I saw this, I was very idealistic and romantic. And there was a time when I saw and got to know and had a relationship with these people that I made heroes in my life, that are heroes in my life. And I started to see their flaws. And for a time, I thought that the Knights of the Round Table didn't exist. But I went back to the stories. And the key with having a code of chivalry is having the guts as an imperfect, failing person to strive for an ideal, to be willing to put yourself on the line, to say that I want to be better. I want to do better. Honor and loyalty, keeping your word, remaining steadfast in your commitments, courage and valor, defending the weak and those who can't defend themselves, justice and fairness, not self-serving like you see very often. From what I've seen in reading many books and looking at things with compensation of different executives and different choices some people make, where they sometimes will vote themselves at the expense of others, rather than use their leadership to take care of those who put them in charge. They use it for self-interest, not the code of chivalry, justice and fairness, defending the opposed and the oppressed and the weak, courtesy and respect for one another, not getting a ticket and then saving seats for those who are not preferred and thinking it isn't seen by the people on your team and your fellow people around you. Humility and humbleness. And by no means am I morally grandstanding. They gave me this talk because I'm the worst at everything. So they were just hoping if I talked about it a little bit more, maybe I could do a little bit better myself. Generosity and charity. Sharing both your talents and your resources with others. Sometimes that's a word of encouragement. Sometimes that's looking at someone in the seat next to you and hearing something and saying, hey, let's pay attention because I think that you're going to be one of the next 1,000 pins on stage. Let's really pay attention. Using whatever it is you have and whatever it is you see for the greater benefit of everyone around you. Joe and Karen Davis on the NAFTY team. Talk about humbleness of spirit. Number 3, the quest for the Holy Grail. The quest for the Holy Grail. The quest for the Holy Grail was never about a cup. It's not what it's about. The quest for the Holy Grail is a shared noble purpose of personal excellence, of striving with everything we can to morally move forward and to become worthy of the attainment of the goal that we want, whether that be 1,000 PV platinum or beyond. Whatever that is that you're trying to attain in your personal life, it's becoming worthy morally and personally of the attainment of what we want. It's about not ever fighting against those who may succeed in the accomplishment sooner because we're all unified together around a common purpose. And in the story of King Arthur and the round table and the knights, they had an empty seat that sat for most of the story because their number one quest to accomplish finding the Holy Grail, most of the people in most of the stories never morally qualified to do until Sir Galahad sat in that seat. And they saved that seat for that first person, like Luis and Jackie, to then allow it for all of us together to go out and to be able to accomplish. It's a process of personal transformation. JJ, Steph, Derek and Valerie, Stein team, been in this business for years on the rec team, for years. Here, making a commitment to themselves and their family that the past doesn't need to equal the future. That I can be and make a new commitment at any point in time and decide to change my actions. There are no major wins you will ever experience in your life. At least I haven't. Maybe you, but not for me and Anthony Sparks' experience. What I find is that there are no heroes. There are people who make small decisions day in and day out, day in and day out. They read their book. They call a customer. I had an old IBO just text me. They placed a 200 PV customer order. Day in and day out. Little, small decisions that one day put you in the habit of making the right choice. So then when you have the big decision to make, you've already exercised the muscle to make it. It's daily choices. It's prospering as your soul prospers. It's not succeeding in one area at the detriment of every other. It's being able to become the person who can have and sustain the mantle of leadership to be able to accomplish the life that we truly want to accomplish. That's why we built an Amway business. That's why we committed the Pappalardo family, a family of people who are so far from perfect as everyone here, but never, ever have decided to settle for less than the ideals that they want to see in their life for themselves, for their kids and their grandkids. A lot of people think that the Knights of the Round Table is 12, 15 people, and in some stories it is. But there are many versions that the Knights of the Round Table number in the thousands. I'm not talking about just the emeralds and the diamonds backstage. I'm talking about everyone in this room. This isn't Camelot. You guys are the guardians of all of your homes and workplaces and communities to go out to stand for values if you choose and you agree with the values I've just talked about. To be able to go and be an example, to break generational curses if that's something for you. For me, I come from generations of challenges. So seeing examples of men and women who have accomplished that inspired me to say that maybe in the Spark family, we can stop this generation after generation of pain and challenge, and whatever that may be in your family. I believe that miracles can happen. I believe that people can change in a moment, in a decision. Because I don't believe that you are fixed. I saw a video recently of a leadership guru talking about how your employees or people or Amway sales team, fill in the blank, will do what they've done. And if they haven't done what they need to do, get new people. And maybe that's logical. It sounds logical. I just choose to believe that anyone can aspire to be and do whatever they decide to aspire and be and do. Because I didn't know if I'd ever be able to be in this place. Many days I don't feel worthy to be in this place. Many days I fight to get through my day, and I look and say, I'm going to do the best I can. But I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of something. And I don't mind if I fail, as long as I decided to say, this is who I want to be. And I will try every day to be this as long as I live. I rather fail in aspiring for what I really want than settle for anything less. Because at least every day when I look in the mirror, I see someone who hasn't given up on their own desires, goals, dreams, and where I want to go. I love you guys. We're so excited for Frank and Kat. People I've been running with for 14 years. I'm so excited for all the IBO ships on the Monaco team, doing more meetings than ever. I know you guys are having the biggest season of growth you've ever gone into. We love you so much. I am so thankful to be here with you. And if you think that anything I said is special, I'm no more special, and no one backstage is any more special than you. Either none of us are special or all of us are special. And I know many of you are going to commit to a new standard of personal excellence in your daily life that's going to one day yield the goals and dreams that you have. God bless you guys. We love you.
This is a copyrighted program of The Collective.